Today's matchup is the last one before the finals. Irena Sendler, nominated by 8 Hens and a Rooster, and Corrie ten Boom, nominated by the Hearts Without Fear. It will be hard to decide today because, as Senora Hoyt points out,
you guys have chosen a great field of women. Whoever wins will be great.
Mrs. Kratz from the Portree agrees.
I'm torn between the contestants because they've all risked their life to further their cause.
Both women lived in Europe during the Holocaust. After World War I, Germans were frustrated and angry because their world had changed so quickly. Work was hard to find and people were hungry. They wanted an easy solution to their problems, and they saw their answer in a strong leader who promised law and order. They voted Adolf Hitler into office because he offered a quick and easy solution to the problem. Get rid of the people who he saw as the troublemakers and get rid of anyone who didn't agree with him. Thankfully, there were some brave individuals who worked to save the people who were being rounded up. Both Irena Sendler and Corrie ten Boom recognized the human dignity of their neighbors and applied the golden rule: treat others as you would like to be treated, even if it meant risking their lives. Mrs. Totebush is a fan of Corrie ten Boom.
I would vote for Corrie ten Boom. Anybody that had the nerve and the guts to hide people behind the wall, knowing that they were probably going to end up in a concentration camp too, and apparently she did. So, I mean, takes a lot of courage.
Corrie saved over 800 Jews, but was eventually betrayed by her neighbor. She went to Ravensbrück concentration camp, but that didn't stop her from continuing what she saw as an opportunity to demonstrate Christ's love for others. She went with her sister Betsy, who kept her inspired.
What I experienced, I learned so much from Betsy. I will never forget when we came into Ravensbrück. That was a camp that was far too full. We had to live with 700 in a room that was built for 200. And when I came there and I saw these rags on which we had to do a kind of mattress straw, I said, "Oh, Betsy, it is full of fleas and lice." And Betsy said, "Corrie, we must thank God for everything." I said, "I cannot thank God for fleas." And she said, "We have to." But do you know what happened? We had a tremendous chance to give the Bible message to these people who were so packed together. Twice a day I gave a Bible message, or Betsy, and it was a forbidden book, the Bible. But never there came a guard or an officer into our room because they were afraid to get lice or fleas from us. So Betsy was quite right to thank for fleas, for if we had not had these fleas, we could not have brought the gospel to these many people
And
around.
the only reason...
Corrie is impressive, but Irena Sendler also saved the lives of many children in the Warsaw Ghetto. Mrs. Behringer is a big fan.
Irene Sendler is a person that I would consider for sainthood because she lived in a period of time in our world when there was much violence, hatred against certain groups of people, and she risked her life to smuggle small children in body bags, knowing that she could be taken to the concentration camp and killed.
We don't know as much about Irena's life after the war because the Communist Party moved in and took control of Poland. We do know that Irena's actions were driven by her Catholic faith.
In 1943, she was detained by the Gestapo and taken to prison where she was brutally tortured. A Divine Mercy Holy Card was found in her cell with the phrase, "Jesus, I trust in thee," which she kept until 1979 when she gave it to Pope John Paul II as a gift. She never betrayed her mission, and she was sentenced to death, but a soldier freed her thanks to the intervention of the Polish resistance. At the end of the war, she was able to recover her archives. Although most of the families of the children she saved had died in the concentration camps, she placed many of the children in orphanages, and some were sent to Palestine. In 1965, the organization Yad Vashem of Jerusalem granted her the title Righteous Among the Nations. During the last years of her life, she received the thanks of the children she had saved, and she was nominated several times for the Nobel Peace Prize. Irene Sendler died on May 12, 2008, at the age of 98.
You can't go wrong with voting today. The only thing you can do wrong is continue to pout because your original candidate didn't win.
Antioch should win Sophie Sash, no doubt. It's going to be great.